Welcome back. Let's check if the spike occurred in a specific region in Australia. We select the sum of revenue by country visual and we go to the data pane, and from the geography table we drag the state here below the country, and then we go to district and drag it here below the state. And now we have created a hierarchy. Let's make bigger this visual. And now we go with the up arrow 2 times to go to the top level of the hierarchy. Now we make sure that Van Arsdale is still selected here in the slicer, and we go and enable the drill down. Okay, and we select Australia. We are now at the state level, and we go to the revenue by year visual and select 2021. And what we noticed here is that inside this bar we have, with the more darker blue, the part of 2021. And if we highlight here, we see that sum of revenue is 124, and the highlighted part, only 2021, is just 22 million, okay, out of the whole period, which is 124. Now we drill up to the country level again and select again 2021, just to undo the cross highlighting. We disable the drill mode by selecting this down arrow. And now let's analyze the data by product. We'll start by creating a product hierarchy. We ensure that no visual is selected within the canvas. And we go to the data pane at the product table. We click here on the 3 dots. Actually here at the category from the product. Okay, and we say create hierarchy. We notice now that a new object called category hierarchy is created inside the product table. Now we will double click the category hierarchy and we will rename it product hierarchy. Now we go to the segment field and select the ellipsis here, and we say add to hierarchy to the product hierarchy. So now we have 2 categories in the product hierarchy, and we will add the third one. We go to the product, click the ellipsis, add to hierarchy, product hierarchy, and now we have 3 segments. Now we go to the canvas in the white space and select the cluster bar chart. And with it selected, we go to the product hierarchy and we check here. Now with the visual selected, we go to the sales table and select revenue. Now you notice that the product hierarchy is added to the y-axis and the sum of revenue is added to the x-axis. And you will see that the visual within the canvas change and update as you select the different fields. Now let's add a matrix visual so we can view the data in rows and columns. And then we can apply conditional formatting to the matrix visual to highlight the outliers. So we select the visual and we go to the matrix visual. Now we go here at the urban category and select the plus to drill down. Now let's add the percentage of the total field to the visual to give us a better perspective on the data. So with it selected, we go to the sales table and drag again the revenue below the sum of revenue. And now it looks like we have it twice. But now we go to the down arrow of the second field introduced, and we say show value as percentage of grand total. Okay, and we have what we needed. Now we go to this field, right click and rename it GT revenue. Okay, rename it without a dot. Now we drill back up. Okay, now we press here to enable the drill down, and we select urban, not the plus but the word here. Okay, and then using the control key, multi-select the 2021 column here and Australia here. Now let's look at the extreme category of the urban segment, because it has a 40% weight of the grand total. So within the matrix visual, we select the extreme, so here, and we go to the ellipsis here and say sort by GT revenue, and we make sure that it is descending. Okay, and now we can see the top products. We see that Maximus UE04 and UE21 are the top products. Also, we notice that the UE04 has a weight of around 7% of the grand total. Now let's move on. Earlier we created a calculated column named zip country using DAX. Now let's create a percentage growth calculated measure so we can compare sales over time. We are going to do this in two steps. But first, what's the difference between a measure and a calculated column? A calculated column is evaluated row by row. We extend a table by adding calculated columns. A measure is used when we want to aggregate values from many rows in a table. Now let's create it. We go to the data pane and select the sales table. And we go to the table tools and select new measure. And here we enter the following formula. We delete this and put this. And we say like this: previous year sales is equal to calculate function of the sum of the sales revenue, and then we have an time intelligence function, same period last year. Okay, that calculates the same sales but for the same period of last year. We check here, and now the measure is created. We see it here. It appears with this calculator in the left part, which distinguishes a column, a normal column of the table, to a measure. Now let's create another measure using a different method. We select again the sales, okay, and we go here to the ellipsis and we say new measure. And here we put the following formula: percentage growth is divide the sum of sales revenue minus the previous year's sales, okay, and then divided by previous year's sales. So this function divide is useful to not have an error when you divide by 0, because otherwise we would have used directly. We would divide the sum of the sales revenue minus previous year sales with the previous year sales, but we use this divide to wrap it in order to not have these errors. Okay, we check it, and now we have it here, the percentage of growth from previous year to this year. And now let's add it to the matrix visual. We make sure we select it, and we have already selected the 2021 and Australia, and we go here and we just check them. Now what it remains to do is to format these fields. We want here growth to be as a percentage, so we go here okay, we have it selected, and we have to measure tools, format, and we say percentage. Okay, and we can choose here how many decimals. If we want just one, we put just one. Okay, and the same with the previous year sales. It is already currency, but if we don't want it, we can put like decimal number. Okay, let's put it back to currency. And also we want the revenue to be formatted as currency, and now we have it. And now we can start analyzing the products. We see that the product Maximus UE04 has a 158% growth compared to last year. And with this we have finished the data modeling and exploration part of our dashboard in a day lesson. We can now save the file save as, and we will continue in the next lesson with data visualization. See you there.